Hi guys. So I hope you all are doing well. So as you know that quadratic equation is one of the topic that we have in class 10 mathematics CBSE board. Also it is there in ICSE and other regional boards as well. So I have been giving certain questions based on quadratic equations through my shorts and have been expecting you all to answer them and give me those answers in the comment box. It is quite not fair on your part that I should be giving you questions without explanation, okay? Since this is a vast topic and it deals with so many more subtopics, as a result, I felt that I should clear your concept, okay, till you all understand various things that is associated with this topic. Okay, so if I will have to go briefly through this, I would say that first of all I am going to explain you what quadratic equation is. Next, what do you mean by roots of quadratic equation? What these roots are the solutions or the value of x that we have in a quadratic equation. If so, then what else do we have to keep in mind? Next is, what are the ways to find out these solutions or the value of x? We can do it through factorization method, that is middle term break or split method, whatever we call it. Second, by using a quadratic formula. Sometimes it is not easy to go through a middle term break. It isn't easy. So in that case, what do? So we try and solve those quadratic equations or try and find out those roots with the help of quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, allows us to find out the value of x, through it. Next, we have through completing the squares. We can also draw out the roots of a quadratic equation, the value of x. Alright guys. Next we have, which is very important, discriminant. There are three kinds of discriminants, which we'll get into details, one after another through different videos. So try and subscribe this channel in case you haven't so far, so that you can get the notification as I do it, and that has to be done one by one, in the near future. Next, nature of roots based on the discriminant. As I told you, discriminant opens up a way to know what kind of roots do we have, as in roots are equal, unequal, real roots, not real, repetitive, distinct roots. So many kinds of roots there are, and we can only know about them through knowing the discriminant. What is discriminant? Many people don't understand this. So for clarity, I'm going to bring the videos one after another on them. Concept of sum and product of roots. Now we have the roots, which is the value of x or the solution of x in a quadratic equation. Then what in the name of God is sum and product of the roots? Yes, you're right. When we consider it in terms of alpha plus beta, or alpha beta, we call them as sum and product respectively. Lastly, we are asked to make a quadratic equation based on the sum and product of roots. So all these may be seeming a little bizarre, a little ambiguous, because there is lack of clarity in whatever I am saying. So that can be easy only if I refer to them using examples. Guys, so first thing is the topic of quadratic equation. Okay, so let me explain you that. Guys, we can see that a quadratic equation is an equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. Alright. So a, b and c, they are the coefficient of x square, okay, b, and c is a constant. Alright. So a, b and c, all of them ought to be real numbers. Now what do you mean by real numbers? I will take you back to class 9, we know that, okay, any number that exists on the number line, okay, say this is 0, okay, this stretches to positive infinity and this to negative infinity. All right. So any real number, okay, whether they are integers, natural numbers, whole numbers, okay, or irrational numbers or rational numbers, they all find a place on the number line. Correct? So real numbers are truly the numbers that exist on the number line. All right. So we make sure that a, b and c, okay, are real numbers in a quadratic equation, and not only that, a must not be, okay, equal to 0, because we will then lose this term of x square. And if we lose this term of x square, it will mean that it will no longer be a quadratic equation. Correct? So now going ahead, what is more important to know about this? Okay? Now, having said this, quadratic equation as in it has to be equal to 0. Remember in class 9, you all had done quadratic polynomials. Quadratic means x has to have a power, okay, of 2. The maximum power of this polynomial ought to be 2. So which means we will have two solutions of x. Am I right? If there had been a cubic polynomial here, we would know instantly that x will have 3 values. Alright. So next our topic is to know what are roots as. Okay. I have already discussed that these are the agenda that we'll stick to and try and understand them with clarity. So what do you mean by roots? What do you mean by roots of quadratic equation? So when I say roots, does it mean that roots are the solutions or the value of x in the quadratic equation? Yeah, absolutely right, because roots are the solution of quadratic equation. They are the values of x that satisfies, okay, the equation. Means those value of x having put here will end up as 0. So the left hand side will be equal to right hand side. Am I right? So I can explain you this through an example. So first thing is that in case, okay, we take this x square minus 8x plus 16 equals to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. Now, what do we do, okay, to be able to find out its roots? So to find out its roots, we have to find out the value of x. Okay? And to do that, we'll use the factorization method. Okay? Remember I told you the first method, okay, of finding out, or the methods of finding out the roots. Roots is nothing but solution of x. Okay? So here what we can do is we write x square minus 4x minus 4x. We have split this into 2. Okay, conditions apply. You can't do it, through any random method. Why did I choose 4 and 4 with minus sign over here? Because 16 multiplied by the coefficient of x is 1 will give me 16, and x square, okay, multiplied by 16 will give me 16x square, and plus it will give me this, correct? This is my rough work column. Now what are those two numbers, okay, which when multiplied will give me this, as well as when added up will give me, okay, and minus 8x. So minus 4x will give me a minus 8x, and 16 multiplied by 1, okay, x square will give me plus 16x square. So when we multiply minus 4x into minus 4x will give me the product this, whereas when we split this we still are getting minus 8x. Now next, x is to be pulled out from this 2 because it is a common term here, and 1x remains. We get 4 here, and here we pull out 4 as common factor in them, and x minus 4 equals to 0. Alright guys, why do we put a minus over here? Because minus 4 multiplied by minus 4 will give me plus 16. Alright, now we know that we have got two factors over here equals to 0. So one of them ought to be 0 because the product, okay, of two factors end up being a 0 if one of them, okay, happens to be 0. Isn't it? Like 2 multiplied by 0 will give me a 0, or a 0 multiplied by 2 will give me a 0. You put any number here. So here similarly either this is a 0 or this is a 0. Since we say that if this is equal to 0, so therefore x will be equal to 4. And similarly for this, x minus 4 equals to 0, so x will be equal to 4. So here we have found out the roots of the quadratic, okay, equation here, which is, okay, my solution set is 4 and 4. They are equal roots, okay, repetitive, and what do we learn from this is that we have found our roots, okay. And why do we say so? Because when we put in x square minus 8x plus 16, okay, our value of x, say 4 square minus 8.4 plus 16, do we get a 0? Of course we get a 0 because 4 square is 16, 8 into 4 is 32, and this is plus 16. So this gets cancelled and therefore we get a 0. Don't we? So which means that, okay, this value of x has satisfied the equation. Satisfied in the sense that the left hand side using 4 as a value for x gives me 0, which is there on the right hand side. And this is what we do to find out the roots. Okay, roots can be found out through 2-3 methods, which we'll be getting into details further. So just in case you people have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe it so that when I am uploading the next video, at least you will get the notification. So guys, I hope you people have understood the concept of quadratic equation and what is coming up. So my next topic would be, okay, the methods through which we can find out the roots. Later we can go into discriminant and the nature of roots, sum and the product concept, and then forming a quadratic, okay, equation using the product as well as the sum. Alright guys, so bye bye for now. Have a great day ahead and prepare hard for your exam. Bye bye.